I didn't know is that you were going to get so sexy.
You're embarrassing me. Well, I always knew you would.
I think I gave them an opportunity on my television specials to be introduced for the first to the American audience, and they were really young then.
At age 81, Diana Ross has finally revealed shocking truths about Michael Jackson. It is a story full of mystery, emotion, and lessons about love, loneliness, and the power of the human heart. To begin, let us turn back time to the 1960s, when soul and Motown music were dominating America. Diana Ross, born in 1944 in Detroit, Michigan, was the second daughter in a family of 6 siblings. She grew up in the poor Brewster Douglas housing projects neighborhood, where music was an escape from a difficult life. From a young age, Diana loved singing, and in 1959, she formed the group The Primettes with her friends, which later became the Supremes under the guidance of Motown Records. With her smooth voice and charming style, Diana quickly became a star, leading the Supremes to 12 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100, such as Where Did Our Love Go and Stop in the Name of Love. She was not only a singer, but also a fashion icon, with sparkling dresses and her signature beehive hairstyle. After leaving the group in 1970, Diana began a brilliant solo career with the album Diana Ross and the hit Ain't No Mountain High Enough. She also ventured into film, playing Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues in 1972, receiving an Oscar nomination, and later in Mahogany and The Whiz. To date, Diana has sold over 100 million records, received countless awards, including the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012 and the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016. At age 81, she still performs, like the Beautiful Love Performances Tour in 2023, proving the enduring vitality of a legend. Her recent revelations about Michael Jackson have caused a stir among the public, with a series of videos on social media recreating the complex romantic story between them, from the early days at Motown to the private moments that only she knows. Now, let us talk about Michael Jackson, the king of pop that everyone knows. Born in 1958 in Gary, Indiana, Michael was the 8th child in a family of 10 siblings. His father, Joe Jackson, was a factory worker but full of ambition, training his sons into the group the Jackson 5. From the age of 6, Michael was performing, with innate talent in singing and dancing. In 1969, the group signed with Motown, and their debut album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, was released, although in reality Gladys Knight was the one who discovered them. This album not only marked the beginning, but also connected Michael with Diana, who was seen as the official introducer for the group. Michael quickly became the center with his harmonious voice and legendary moonwalk dance. In 1979, the solo album Off the Wall marked a transformation, selling 20 million copies, and Thriller in 1982 became the best-selling album of all time with 70 million copies. Michael was not only a singer but also a philanthropist, creator of music videos like Thriller and Bad, and a cultural icon. His life was full of controversies, from changes in appearance to abuse allegations, but his musical legacy remains immortal, with over 750 million records sold and 13 Grammys. The stories about his feelings for Diana, as she recounts at age 81, have revived memories of a young man full of talent but also full of loneliness, always seeking shelter from the woman he considered the greatest inspiration in his life. From the fateful moment that changed everything. It was one afternoon in 1968 at the Motown studio in Detroit, where the air was filled with the echoing soul music notes. Michael Jackson at that time was just a 9-year-old boy, small and shy, practicing with his brothers in the Jackson 5 group. He hid behind his older brother, his eyes avoiding the gazes from the big artists around. His hand gripped the microphone tightly, trying to appear confident, but everyone could see the confusion in those eyes. like a child thrust into the adult world too soon. Then suddenly, amid the lively music, the studio door opened, and a woman walked in. That was Diana Ross, the brightest star of Motown at the time, the uncrowned queen of the black music empire. She bent down, smiled warmly, and called him the talented boy. That moment, my friends, was like a ray of light shining into Michael's life. From my personal perspective, this meeting scene was not just random, but also symbolic. At age 65 and above, you surely remember the 1960s, when Motown was dominating the charts, and Diana represented freedom, beauty, and allure that a boy like Michael craved. She had everything: public attention, career autonomy, and the ability to shine without being bound. Meanwhile, Michael, that boy, was living in a strict family, with his father Joe Jackson always pushing, and pressure from early fame. Diana became an icon, a spiritual mother, sister, and even a first love model. These memories, when she recounts them at age 81, make us feel the initial warmth, but also foreshadow the complexities later, as Michael's feelings grew over the years. From then on, an invisible thread tied them tightly. A strange relationship began, not exactly mother-child, not just ordinary friends. Later, Michael described it with an emotional phrase: mother, sister, and lover. Analyzing deeper, my friends, this is a manifestation of the longing for stable affection in Michael's tumultuous life. He grew up without a real childhood, always performing from a young age. And Diana was the first to see his true potential, not as a money-making tool, but as a true artist. I think, at our age, everyone has had such complex relationships, where feelings blend between admiration and love, making us confused but also warm. She introduced the Jackson 5 on her television show, and from then on, Michael always saw her as a guide, a light in the dark days of his stolen childhood by fame. When she recounts these things at age 81, her voice full of nostalgia, making us feel the regret for a beautiful feeling that could not fully bloom. To understand better, let us talk about their family backgrounds. Diana grew up in a difficult but music-filled environment, with her mother a teacher and father a worker. She learned to sing from church and neighbors, and the Supremes was her way out of poverty. Michael was different. The Jackson family was a music factory under the iron management of Father Joe, who once beat his children to instill discipline. Michael once recounted in his autobiography, Moonwalk, that he feared his father to the point of vomiting before each practice session. Diana, with her strong image, became Michael's spiritual support, helping him overcome that fear. From an analytical perspective, this relationship reflects the power imbalance in showbiz, where big artists like Diana become mentors for the younger generation, but it can also lead to complex emotions. She not only taught him to sing, but also how to face the public, how to stay true amid the storm of fame. When she opens up at age 81, she emphasizes that Michael's feelings were real, but she always kept a distance to protect him, because she knew the world out there would judge such a relationship harshly. In 1971, on the Diana Show television program, millions of American viewers first witnessed Michael standing next to Diana on stage. They performed together, their voices blending, and the public began to wonder about that connection. But behind the curtain, there were secrets defying all social prejudices. Michael, driven by feelings deeper than mere admiration, made impulsive choices that shocked everyone. Tabloid newspapers reported extensively about a love crossing the boundaries between mentor and student, even whispering about a forbidden romance between two music icons. Diana witnessed everything but remained silent for decades. Now, at age 81, as the stage lights gradually dim, she chooses to speak not to attract attention, but so that Michael's incomprehensible actions are revealed, helping people understand and respect this icon more. She recounts that Michael once sent letters full of loving words, and she always responded with care like a mother, but her heart also ached seeing him suffer because the feelings were not fully reciprocated. Let us delve into an important chapter. In 1978, when Hollywood was shaken because Michael Jackson took a role in the film The Whiz, many saw this as a risky move in his stagnant career, but for Michael, the film was the only opportunity to get closer to Diana Ross. Initially, director Sidney Lumet and producer Quincy Jones doubted Michael's acting ability, and the public also criticized choosing a Jackson 5 boy as the lead actor. However, thanks to lobbying from Rob Cohen and Berry Gordy, people close to Diana, Michael finally got to play Scarecrow, alongside Diana as Dorothy. On screen, they duetted songs like Ease on Down the Road and Brand New Day, encouraging each other to overcome fears. But in real life, those were more private moments. Diana reveals that during filming, Michael repeatedly invited her to stay overnight at his private apartment. For a 20-year-old young man and a woman at the peak of fame who had nurtured him like a child, that closeness could not be just professional. Rumors spread in the industry, with reporters noting the nights Diana did not return to her own hotel and Michael always asking if she slept well before each scene. No one knows exactly what happened, but afterward, Michael changed, smiling less on stage, speaking less in interviews, but his eyes had more peace. She recounts these memories with a voice full of emotion, as if she can still feel the innocence and sincerity of that young man. This is evidence of pure love, defying public scorn. You surely understand that young love is often impulsive, but for Michael, it was also a way to escape the loneliness from a stolen childhood. The film The Whiz was a commercial failure, but for Michael, it was a silent victory. Quiet nights with Diana, where they were no longer stars but just two lonely people finding each other. Let us analyze The Whiz deeper. The film is a modern version of The Wizard of Oz, with an all-black cast, a statement on racial equality in Hollywood at the time. Diana played Dorothy, symbolizing the journey of self-discovery, while Michael was Scarecrow, seeking a brain, a metaphor for his creative intelligence. They sang Ease on Down the Road, a song about overcoming difficulties, reflecting their own lives. The film failed due to high budget and loose script, but Quincy Jones' music is still a masterpiece, and it paved the way for Michael to meet Quincy, leading to Off the Wall and Thriller later. When she recounts the filming days, she emphasizes that Michael matured a lot, from a shy boy to a passionate artist, and his feelings for her were a great motivation. Continuing the journey, in 1982, in a rare interview with Ebony magazine, Michael took off his mask and made a shocking statement when asked about the person he loved most. He was silent for a moment, then exclaimed, "It's Diana Ross. I love her." The whole room held its breath, because Diana was nearly 2 decades older, his mentor from the early days at Motown. But then Michael smiled and said, "I'm just kidding." However, if you watch the clip again, you will see that those eyes could not be fake. It was the eyes of a man in deep love. Diana later revealed that Michael once said he wanted to marry her, that if he had the choice, he would not hesitate despite the public or media. But that confession made Diana feel terrible. She was much older than him. The generational gap combined with Hollywood pressure made her believe such a relationship was too naive. Analyzing deeply, my friends, this reflects the double standards of society at the time. Older men dating younger women are praised, but the reverse is labeled predator or eccentric. Michael was saddest because people did not believe him. Even Diana thought it was just the illusion of a boy who did not want to grow up. The unrequited love gradually became an obsession, but also a source of inspiration for his creativity. She recounts that she tried to advise him to seek more suitable love, but her heart also ached seeing him lonely amid fame. Let us talk about the music, where Michael often hid his emotions. The song Dirty Diana in 1987 from the album Bad was rumored to be about Diana Ross. The lyrics tell of a seductive woman named Diana, trying to tempt a singer who already has a lover. Michael initially said it was about groupies, but his brother Jermaine confirmed it was about Diana. The day he submitted the copyright coincided with the day Diana married Arne Nace Jr. in 1985, making Michael heartbroken. He canceled attending the wedding, locked himself in his room, and composed the song as a way to vent anger. Analyzing the lyrics, "She likes the boys in the band, she knows when they come to town," alluding to Diana knowing many artists. But Michael was afraid to admit, fearing Diana would turn away. When she called to ask, she laughed and said, "So you're not bad-mouthing me." Michael removed the song from the setlist when she came to watch, proving that his love prioritized her feelings over a big hit. From my perspective, Dirty Diana is not just a powerful rock song but also a painful confession. It reflects Michael's jealousy when Diana chose Arne, a Norwegian businessman. That marriage lasted until 2000, producing 2 sons. But Michael always jealousy silently. In his memoir Moonwalk, he wrote, "I'm happy for her, but I'm still hurt because I've always loved Diana." This shows that unrequited love can be a creative force, but also cause suffering. Comparing to other songs like Remember the Time, the video with an Egyptian setting, Michael playing a man pleasing the Queen, clearly alluding to Diana as the Motown Queen. She recounts that when hearing this song, she felt moved, because it was like a reminder of the beautiful memories between them. After that pain, Michael tried to find other love. In 1994, he married Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis Presley. They met as children, but the romantic relationship started in 1992. The marriage lasted 2 years, divorcing in 1996 due to differences. Lisa wanted a normal life. Michael was besieged by media. Diana once hoped they would reconcile because she saw Lisa understood Michael could bring stability. From my deep analysis, this marriage was an effort to forget Diana, but failed because his feelings for her were too intense. Despite the divorce, Michael and Lisa remained friends, and Diana saw that as a positive part, a short-lived step toward maturity. Lisa later said Michael was her great love, but media pressure destroyed everything. She recounts that she advised Michael to seek his own happiness, but her heart still worried for him, like a mother worrying for her son amid life's storms. But the love for Diana did not fade. In 1986, a shocking secret was revealed. In Michael's house, there was a shrine to Diana Ross, the room next to his bedroom, with white brick walls, covered with photos of her from the Supremes era to recent ones, hundreds of candles burning 24/7. When the information leaked through a private conversation with close friend Glenda in the early 1990s, the press was horrified, calling him eccentric, psychologically disturbed. They speculated an unhealthy obsession, emphasizing Diana was still alive, so why a shrine like she had passed? However, for Michael, it was not madness but the embodiment of unrequited love. He admitted, "It's a love that only exists in my head." The room was where he stored emotions he could not express. Analyzing, my friends. This is how Michael coped with loneliness in a glamorous but pressure-filled world. At our age, everyone has had private shrines in their hearts, where memories of ex-lovers or lost friends are kept. Diana never expressed disgust. On the contrary, she said affectionately, "We truly loved each other. He was like one of my children." She understood the pain behind that strange action and sympathized. When she recounts, her voice full of forgiveness, as if she is embracing that young man once more. Let us talk about their influence on modern music. Diana Ross paved the way for Beyoncé and Rihanna, with her diva style and entrepreneurship. Michael influenced Justin Timberlake and Usher with his dance and production. Together, they created the Motown legacy, where black music became mainstream. In the Whiz, they brought black culture into fairy tales, influencing later generations like The Lion King or Black Panther. Michael learned from Diana how to perform, blend voices, and glittering fashion style. She was the inspiration for Off the Wall, where Quincy Jones helped Michael escape his child image. These things, when she recounts at age 81, make us feel her pride in the legacy they built together. but also full of regret for personal losses. Finally, when Michael passed away in 2009, amid countless legal terms and vast assets, his will surprised everyone. If his mother, Katherine Jackson, could not care for his 3 children, then Diana would be the only one to take on that role. Not his sister, not his close friends, but Diana, the one he called mother, sister, lover, all in one. This decision is extremely important, showing absolute trust. Imagine, my friends, when entrusting the future of your children to someone, it is not just procedure but a silent confession. I trust you more than anyone. This is Michael's final confession to Diana, a way for that love to live forever. At age 81, Diana now almost disappears from the public, but she begins to speak to unload the burden of half a century. She admits, "Michael loved me in a way hard to describe. It was true love, mother, sister, and lover." She never fully confirmed because she feared breaking that fragility, but she cared for him with all her heart. "I know who I am in his heart, and that's why I didn't dare respond." She recounts that she still keeps photos and memories of Michael, and sometimes, in the late nights, she listens to his songs again, feeling his presence beside her. Let us look at the 2025 revelations from Diana. In an interview with Ebony magazine, she recounted the letters Michael sent, full of loving words. She said, "He built the shrine not to obsess, but to honor. I understand because I also love him like a child." These stories spread widely, though most are speculation, but they are based on facts from old memoirs and interviews. Analyzing. These shocking revelations are how the younger generation rediscovers history. But for us, it is a reminder of the complexity of celeb love. She also recounted the last time meeting Michael, when he hugged her and whispered thanks, making her emotional to tears. This story, dear friends, is not just about Hollywood, but also about freedom, courage, and the desire to express oneself. It inspires us in our twilight years. Love has no age, and even if unrequited, it can still change a life. Michael Jackson, through Diana's revelations, is no longer the eccentric king, but a sincere human being, full of wounds, but also full of love. Let us reflect and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.